Alrighty guys, so I'm back and got my little jump pack. It's gonna live here at the tiny house from here on out, period. So first thing I gotta do is, actually, I may be able to do this without disconnecting these wires, because I have both of them off and isolated. So we'll see if that's gonna work or not. So I'm just applying the power to the battery before I hook this one up. Just good practice. So we'll see. There goes. So it's at 57% at 12.6. I'm going to disconnect this. Just a quick, it's at 58% at 12.6. Just so you guys can see. Probably can't see with that light on. I just want to go into the menu. Control parameters. Yeah, we're good. So the control parameters are saved. Power is going into the battery. 1 amp is going in. It's going to be a while. So I'm just going to let this thing, I'm going to shut this off actually. The battery temp is 15 degrees Celsius, so it wasn't a cold thing for sure. So it's 59%. It's overcast, raining. So we're not going to get much. I'm just going to let this thing do its thing with the solar before I put any loads on it whatsoever. So this guy is going to live here at the tiny house. And I'm going to put him on the charge eventually. Let me just remove the connectors. That's nice because I don't have to disconnect all my terminals here, which is sweet. Highly suggest you guys get one of these. And I may even buy another one. One to live here at the tiny house, one for my parents' house for their vehicles. So, we know what they're getting for Christmas. Other than that, I'm going to get back over to work while this charges. And I'm really pissed off that the overvolt disconnect on this MPPT charge controller does not automatically reset itself. I don't know why, but it's annoying. So, when this thing hits about 13 volts or so, or the sun breaks through pretty heavy, then I will safely turn on all my loads and continue charging the lithiums. So be back in a bit. Hey guys, Rob from the Off Grid Tiny House. It is April the 30th, and I was just listening to the radio. 2 bombshell breaking news stories hit. One, it's now admitted on mainstream that Charlie Victor was a leaked virus from Wuhan Laboratory Biolab, which we called from day one. So, the next story confirmed the Democrats, same thing. Their Mueller investigation and all that shit is completely falling apart, and a lot of people are going to jail. So if you're a Democrat and you believed all that crap against Trump, you're a moron, pretty much. So a bunch of people are going to jail. The media's lied to you for 4 years plus, and is continuing to lie to you. And guess what, folks? We're draining the swamp. People are going to jail. Finally. Finally. So, if you're a leftist and don't believe me whatsoever, you're a moron. That's why I tell you, everybody out there who watches me, watch alternative media for your news. Don't watch mainstream media. It's that simple, guys. Alright, so right now what I'm doing, I put together a cigarette plug 12 volt for the off-grid tiny house, and that is going to just basically sit down in here, kind of like so, and I'm going to hook it up so I can plug in this TV on my desk here, which I'll show you in a second. But I'm going to hook this up, and then I'm going to turn that radio back on and hear more about this, because this is crazy. So, but it's everything I already knew. It's just finally coming out, and now that everybody's in full panic mode on the Demorat side, like they should be. Prison is coming, folks. Hey guys, so I just quickly tied it in. I found basically a perfect spot for it, so the wires don't get pinched in between the doors when it closes, so that's pretty sweet, because there's a little gap here. So I basically then, then I take the TV plug it into there, and I will have power. But I can't check it just yet, as we are just charging up the battery. 12, I got a half an amp coming in. We're sitting at 12.73. I'll test it later when we get when that thing gets settled up. So also, I brought over a one of these aerials for free TV. Don't know how well it's going to work in here, but it's on this little TV. But most likely this little guy will be running, I'm going to bring I have an old baby desktop computer called Baby PC over, and I'm going to probably just use it on this guy as a display. And then I'll probably rig something where, well, I can actually just put everything there, because these guys are going to be moved once we get the barrel stove underway. Now, barrel stove, I had Pierre, one of my Patreon members, good buddy, told me, I kind of gave him the layout of what we were going to do, and he came up with a pretty good idea that's going to save me. So I need a 4x8 sheet of cement board going across this wall, which is fine. And I'm also going to put one across the floor that way as my hearth. Now, he said instead of putting tiles on them, even though that's a nice thermal mass storage, just paint them. And that's a good idea, because tiles aren't that cheap, guys. I'll tell you that. So I did find some black paint. 1, 2, 3, and then a yellow, which I can't really use. But I want to seal, when I do get the cement board, I want to spray paint the entire sheet, front and back, maybe twice. And the reason for that is cement dust comes off these things over time. Nasty, messy. If you seal it with cement, or seal it with some kind of sealer like paint, then it locks that stuff in. I don't have that issue. Jackpot. So it's kind of a crap day. We started out pretty rough, where my battery was dead and I had to go home and get silicone for the plumbing and a whole bunch of nonsense running around. So the day went to El Crapo, if you ask me. So not a good thing. This little guy's keeping the tiny house nice and toasty. The nice thing about having 2 wood stoves, this guy will be probably most likely for winter only. This guy will be in every other season, because this guy cannot keep up in the winter time. This guy, however, will probably cook me out of here, which is what I want, because since I'm not allowed to put skirting on my trailer at the off-grid tiny house, means the floors are freezing cold. But with this guy, that will solve that. And I will be probably sleeping with the windows open, or at least the window by my bed open, a crack, in the winter time, because it'll probably be so friggin' hot in here, which is fine. So that's another bonus. By the way, rain if you can't hear it. Lots of rain. Oh, and by the way, Tim Cat, the dude that told me what this leak was totally right. It's a condensation leak. It only happens in the winter because it's pissing rain out for days and I have no water on the floor. So I don't know what the hell is condensating up inside the ceiling, but very odd, very strange. Anyways, I'm gonna get back on the radio, listen to the radio, and then once this guy gets closer to 13 volts, I'm gonna turn everything on, test out the TV and everything else, and that will get me recharging it once again here at the Off-Grid Tiny House. But now, guys, as a reminder, if I see the overvolt disconnect again, what I gotta do is disconnect the MPPT and reconnect it if there's still power on the battery. If there isn't, take my little jumper pack, boost it, boom. So the overvolt disconnect on that MPPT is El Crapo. It stops it, but then you have to manually reset it, which is garbage, if you ask me. So that's it. See you guys in a bit.